Welcome back to Medieval Dynasty. My name is Chic and we are playing in day 3 today. If you haven't already, please subscribe, share the video, help the channel out a little bit. I appreciate it. We have some big plans for day 3. As you can see, it is just us here in our little village, but we are aiming to change that today. So I'm going to scope out where we are going to start building some things and kind of get a feel for the general layout of our village. My thinking initially is to have certain zones, and one of them being our like production and extraction kind of zone, and then another zone for farming. And then I think we'll have like 2 areas of housing so that some workers can be closer to their jobs rather than having to walk around like crazy all day. I actually don't know if that impacts efficiency in this game, but in a realistic way, that is what I'm going to be aiming for. And yeah, we're going to see what buildings are even available to us at this current stage. The primary couple of things that I'm most concerned about in the early game is wood, because we need wood to continue to build things, and food. Initially, I can provide a decent amount of food to the villagers until we get too many. So here I'm kind of thinking, okay, I'm going to aim to find a woman with decent skills who can come and join our settlement and maybe eventually become my wife. But first, we need to build up the village so that we can even invite anybody home. We need a second house and we need jobs for them to do. So here I am just cutting down some trees so that we can build. Enjoy. I heard a boar, and there he is. Are we safe, or do we need to run? I think we are safe, and now I am distracted, and I'm going to grab some clay. I don't know why I'm still running around with a shovel. Oh, that's why. I'm going to get some stumps cleared out of the way so that we can put a second house here beside our current home. And we're just only able to build the simple house for now. These hold 3 villagers, so eventually you get a couple in one of these houses and then they can have children. We are limited on who can go into the homes. I explained this in a previous episode, but you have to have a family to each home. So a man, a woman, and then they will have children. This game is quite limited in that way. And when you are able to build the slightly larger homes, then those families can have an additional child. And of course, those children will grow up in your village and become workers and integrate themselves into your little economy and your little world as they grow in age. And you want to encourage that. You want to encourage families to grow. It's easier than going to find more villagers when you need them. And as people start dying, their children will be there to replace them, essentially. So we're talking long term with this game. There were some suggestions that maybe I should make the seasons a little bit longer, but honestly, I think with the way that this game is designed, the time is supposed to move relatively quickly. It is just the mechanic of the game. We don't want to spend, 1 year and build up a huge bustling settlement at that point. It's going to make the game shorter. There is a point where we're going to max out this game, max out what we can build, max out what we can craft, max out what we can do. And I don't want that to happen when we've only been in the game for like 5-10 years. So I don't think I'm going to mess with that. If I were to do that, I would do like 4 days, maybe 5 days max to a season. But for right now, I think this is working good. It's realistic that it would take us a year to build multiple homes and workplaces for villagers. That is reasonable to me. So for now, we're just going to leave that as it is. One of my fears about settling in this area was the birch trees kind of like we're right on that line where they start to take over and become the dominant tree in the area. And you only get 2 logs out of a birch tree. And that's a lot of manpower to take down one tree when you can get 4 logs by taking down another tree, a different kind of tree. So at this point, I'm already like, man, I'm going through these maples very quickly and I don't want to have to cut down birch trees. So I'm already kind of not really regretting settling here, but wondering if we maybe shouldn't have been on the other side of that little creek that we have settled on. But I did pick this mainly for the view. So it is what it is. We'll just have to run around a little bit more to be able to get the most efficient wood chopping system in place. And there we go. We have a second home for a new villager. I am debating on whether to build the well because you do need buckets for the well. And here I'm just trying to remember if you can even craft the buckets. And it doesn't show you there, but you can craft them, I believe, in the workshop. But because I didn't see it there, I end up waiting quite a while before building the workshop because I didn't realize that you could make, I think it's the workshop. It's either the workshop or the smithy that you can make buckets in. But either way, it's kind of like that's a required item that is a little bit more difficult to come by in early game. So here I'm like, I really want this woodshed. I want to be able to bring in another villager to help me gather wood because we're going to need so much of it. I am aware that there are other ways to build the houses, but I think wood is easier to get than stone at this early point of the game, and especially sticks for the wattle walls. Those are so much more prevalent and easy to get. But I do want somebody to be able to help me gather some of those so that we can more quickly and efficiently start building things. So here I'm just going to do some updating of our skills and some management things. So I have chosen to basically apply these to the knowledge so that we can gain our skills a little bit quicker. It's going to assist us with that if we focus there early on. I am going to add some roads. And here it's not really for function so much as it's cleaning up and making it look more like we just built a house here. Like there's not going to be weeds growing right up by the house that we just built, most likely anyway. So I'm just making that look a little more clean. It is looking much better in my opinion. Love that. Very nice. Good. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to start speeding things up a little bit here as I am going to collect some things and do a little traveling across this vast map. I think this is working fairly well to just speed up these interim kind of things and the traveling and all of that. But do let me know if for some reason this isn't working for you. It is good that there are so many rocks available. They're very prevalent on the map because they are something that you need quite a lot of. And especially in early game, really your option is to just pick them up yourself. You can use a pickaxe on some of the stones here in the world. I typically don't mess with that and I just pick up the loose ones that are around until we get the excavation shed that allows our villagers to use the pickaxe to get stone. And of course, keep our spear out in case we encounter any animals that we may want to take home with us, or to protect ourselves from any boars who might be about. I suppose I should have explained that we are going to be looking for more villagers at this point. And when I played this game previously, you could hit Alt and it would show the skills above people's heads. It doesn't seem to be working for me unless I am doing something wrong, but we can ask them questions to learn about their skills, so we will be doing that. Here, once again, I have gotten distracted and we're going to do a quick quest. This one is super simple. We just need to cut down the wood and take it back to him. That is honestly some very easy dynasty reputation points that we're about to get. And let's see if he has anything else for us. 100 coin. Yet another good reason to do questing and side quests. Erica, she is 22. I love that spelling of her name. Farming, we're not really needing that just yet.
Be welcome, stranger.
Gertruda. Hunting, I still feel like that's probably our next thing, but I'm looking for extraction. Somebody who can chop down wood for us. And at this point, I'm still thinking I want a woman to start with because she could potentially become our wife. So we're going to head to another village and see who might be available there. I am heading west because there are several villages in a row here across the northern part of the map, and that gives us more options. Maybe find some treasure first. Excellent. So right away, I'm going to notice there's only men here, and I'm just going to turn around and head to the next village. This is just one of the difficult things about this game, and I love that they have added animals and riding because that is so helpful when you have to run across the map like this. However, it's still a very late game perk that you can get. You have to work very hard to get there. So no matter what you do in this game, you cannot just get in here and save up all your money and buy a horse. You have to work your way up to being able to build a stable and get horses. And it takes a lot of coin, which we don't necessarily have and is very, it's not very easy to get in early game. Actually, let me rephrase that. It can be if you focus on just doing that. If you stay up at night and just build stone knife after stone knife and spend your days collecting sticks and stones. I want to focus on building, so we're just going to work at this in an organic kind of way. As we start building, we'll have more resources that our villagers are going to help us make that we can then sell. But in the meantime, lots of traveling across this vast map. Here I'm just seeing how much is a donkey. Yeah, we're not going to have that amount of coin for a while.
Hail, friend.
Have a girl, Sabora. We're just going to ask her what her skill is. She says she's into tracking prey. And I'm like, I don't know. I wish I could see her other skills. But I'm like, we could probably work with that if we had to. And I'm like, I could always make her my wife. So I'm thinking here, do I invite her back or do I not? She's 19, which is a very good age for Racimir. He is 18 at the start of the game. So I'm getting to know a little bit about her here. And I'm debating. And I'm just going to invite her back to the settlement. We might make her our wife. We will see how things go. Bernadetta, that's an E. It is so hard for me to see the words on this screen when I'm recording. So lots of farmers available, I'm noticing. Farmers and hunters have been very prevalent. So at the top of the screen, it's going to show that she is quite unhappy. She doesn't even have a house. I have to assign that to her. We're going to do another quest. And she wants money. Well, guess what? We cannot spare right now. Money. So we're going to just axe that idea. I'm debating, do I go to another town and get a man and let him just be with Sabora? Or do I see if I want to romance her myself? If you put her, I think you could still romance if she's living in the house with the man, but I don't know like when she becomes unavailable or if she will even get with the man that she's living with if you're romancing her. I'm not sure how that game mechanic works. I just see there's a ton of stones here and I'm grabbing them because they are everywhere in this area. You could see Sabora there on the map. We are going to try to beat her home. I don't know why I didn't just assign her to a house now. And once again, we're distracted by some goodies on the side of the road. It looks like just logs though, but I mean, we have unlimited carrying capacity, so we're just going to take them. You always have to look very carefully around those areas where things might be hiding in the grass. I have seen that several times where something is there, but it's not easy to see or find. And we have an overturned cart with a potion of healing inside. And it looks like there's some stuff on the ground as well. A clay jug. Those would come in handy later. Copper sickle is excellent. A sickle can be hard to come by when you start farming. And I'm just going to look around and make sure I'm not missing anything, especially now that it's getting dark. So I tend to not take the roads, but now that they do have these crashed carts around, I'm more inclined to follow a road. Normally, the fastest route is just a straight shot from wherever you're currently at to the other place, even if it means trekking through the wilderness. And normally, when you do trek through the wilderness, you can hunt. And there's also now camps that you can come across. But look at what we would not see if we were traipsing through the woods. We would miss all of these carts, and I almost missed this bronze axe. As I said, sometimes these things are harder to see. There's also a torch here. Great find. That axe is going to be an incredible help. They last longer. They're more efficient at chopping. Excellent, excellent find for us. That was a pretty successful day. We now have 2 homes. We are no longer alone here in our village. We're going to assign her to the house, and then we have to build her workplace. So that is what we're going to be doing in the next episode the following day. And I'm going to tell you, things really, really do pick up from here. I have recorded ahead quite a bit, and yeah, things really start to come together and it's very exciting. I am just setting Sabora up before we go to bed so she has food. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the next day. I will see you during day 4. Thank you so much for watching.